raised my arms above my head, and it relieved the pressure a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll leave them up like this, and then I couldn't put them back down. It hurt that bad, and I just started going, oh my God, Mom, I can't put my arms down. And then I went into the bathroom, and I just started vomiting, and I was like, this is not normal heartburn or indigestion. Something's really wrong here. And Mom started going, I'm calling an ambulance. I was like, no, it can't be that serious. It hurt really bad, but I don't know, I just don't like the idea of getting in an ambulance and going somewhere. So then I fell out on the floor and got all flustered and was just sweating, and she was like, we're going. The pain in my chest just intensified tenfold, and I was sitting there rubbing it with my fingers going, guys, it hurts, just repeating that over and over. And they gave me a nitro spray in my mouth, and I was flipping out. I mean, I was writhing in pain basically. And they're like, we'll get you there, just calm down, breathe. And they said, we're taking you to St. Francis. They have, the best heart stuff, so we're gonna get you there. And I mean, they sped up here. I mean, it probably only took them a quarter of the time it would have taken someone doing normal speed limit. And we got up here, and they took me directly into the Cath Lab. The last thing I remember, I was completely locked down on the table, and in the Cath Lab, the doctor was to my right, and he's like, all right, we're gonna start the stent through your arm. And they ran it, and I remember they had the monitor to my left, and so I'm watching it, going back and forth between the doctor and it, and as soon as the stent got to my heart, I coded, and I blacked out.
Well, the young man developed chest pain at home, and he did the appropriate thing. I think the two big messages that I can glean from this thing, and it's one of the things that he did right, and that is he decided to seek attention at the right time. Because shortly after he came to the hospital, he had a cardiac arrest, as we know. And so if he had delayed that decision by minutes and not made it here on time, things could have gone very, very differently for him. Given how young he is, it's easy to overlook that how could this be my heart? But I think the fact that the symptoms persisted, and when they worsened, he sought medical attention, which is sort of is the key sort of thing. I think if the symptoms are severe enough, the symptoms don't relent with what you think might be the case, seek attention. Yes. And that's exactly what he did, yes. Because he's young, we sometimes see this. He was just having recurrent episodes of what we call ventricular fibrillation that required him to be shocked repeatedly. And fortunately, with the team that we had over here, we were able to stabilize him and then eventually get inside and open up his blocked artery, which is responsible for the whole event for him. Ventricular fibrillation is a type of a heart rhythm that is fatal, and that is exactly what he developed. And this is why you see AEDs everywhere. One of the best ways of terminating a rhythm like that is through a shock. And that's why there's a big drive to put AEDs all over the place. Fortunately, he was in Cath Lab, he was already connected, so when that happened, even before he could sort of develop a full-blown worsening cardiac arrest, where he could not be brought back from, we were able to act on it. Because what ends up happening is, once your body is not getting adequate blood flow, because that rhythm, ventricular fibrillation, is not compatible with adequate blood flow to your body, including your brain, and a vicious cycle starts if you don't act quick enough. And once that cycle sets in, then it can be very difficult to reverse that. And that's why making it to hospital is a key thing. And that's why I feel, one of the important messages is that come early. Then we can do everything for you. Options are so many that we can, in this day and age, the chances you'll make it is very, very good. But once you get behind that spiral and you fall behind the 8 ball, as they say, it's very, very hard to break that spiral sometimes.
I was actually in my office and was called and told that there was a code blue in the Cath Lab, which means they are actively coding someone doing CPR. So I arrived in there, and they were actively doing chest compressions. One thing that's very different in the Cath Lab is when we are doing a code, we also continue to do the procedure. So if the patient has a clot or a plaque within an artery, we still have to go in and put a stent in order to save that patient's life. So they were coding him, but Dr. Shaw and the team were working very hard to continue with the procedure as well. Within a couple of minutes of me getting there, the patient gained a heart rate back, so they were able to stop the CPR, and he actually started coming around a little bit.
This is where, your team makes your breaks you, and I was so proud of them. That's the second big thing I think I'm so happy with that day. Not only the team we had in the Cath Lab, we have 2 or 3 teams that work, because we have 2 or 3 rooms. But when we realized this young man needed additional attention, people from the other team stepped in, and so we had a lot of staff that showed up. We have a response team that showed up because we call Code Blue, and so that additional hands on deck could be their pharmacy, intensivist. We had literally 15 to 20 staff members in that room coordinating, doing their respective roles to make it happen. There's no doubt in my mind, if the whole team had not showed up, there's no way this young man could have made it that day.
I'm very lucky that I came here and that they were complete angels. Like, without the docs, Dr. Shaw, and my nurse, I still don't know her name, but I remember she had that bag doing the oxygen to my face and was taking it off and talking to me and telling me everything was going to be okay. I mean, just complete angels.